Welcome back to Tabletop Paper Company's Friday Finance. We are yet again counting down our top 5 cards that have risen in price this week. Shout out to everyone who's been liking and commenting on these videos. It's your engagement with these posts that's helping us grow, so I couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We're so close to 500 subscribers. Let's see if we can hit it this week, and I've got a special announcement for one of the cards in this week's video. An honorable mention before we get started, it Seize the Spotlight. This card is really versatile in Commander. For 3 mana, it's a sorcery, and each opponent chooses Fame or Fortune. For each player who chose Fame, gain control of a target creature that player controls until the end of turn. For each player who chose Fortune, you draw a card and create a treasure token. Back in March of this year, this card was a little bit over $1, and now it's all the way up to 11. It hasn't had one week where it's done particularly well, so it hasn't earned a spot in our weekly top 5, but since it did go from a bulk rare to a valuable card, I wanted to give it a mention. Next up on the list is Titus, Yuna's Guardian from the Final Fantasy set. Titus has the ability, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may move a counter from target creature you control onto a second target creature you control. He also has Cheer. Whenever one or more creatures you control with counters on them deal combat damage to a player, you may draw a card and proliferate. Do this only once each turn. I didn't really get into the Final Fantasy set, mainly because of how expensive it is, but seeing this card kind of makes me want to build a commander deck. It seems like a budget version of Atraxa, being able to proliferate each turn, and it also can manipulate counters on your creature. I think it's a really versatile commander, and it's gaining popularity, especially as the Final Fantasy hype is dying down a little bit and we're looking at other sets, so he's kind of rising to the top as a card that could stick around, especially in more casual pods. So get all your planeswalkers together, build a Super Friends deck, and have a blast. Coming up next is Shelob, Child of Ungoliant. Shelob is a terrific spider commander. It has Death Touch and Ward 2, and it gives other spiders you control Death Touch and Ward 2 as well. It also has whenever another creature dealt damage this turn by a spider you control dies, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a food artifact with pay 2 to tap it, to sacrifice this artifact, and you gain 3 life. It loses all other card types. So essentially, if one of your Death Touch spiders unalives another creature, it turns into a food token. This is the second time we've talked about this card on the channel. The first time was a few weeks ago when we got our first sneak peek at the Spider-Man cards, and now we've recently seen a full list of all the cards that are going to be in the set. Players are either looking to build their own Shelob decks, or they're looking to build a Cosmic Spider-Man deck and fit Shelob into their 99. Coming up next is a familiar card. It's Razorkin Needlehead. Razorkin Needlehead is a 2/2 for 2, and it has first strike on your turn, and whenever an opponent draws a card, it deals 1 damage to them. I did an in-depth analysis in last week's video, and that'll be linked at the end of this video, of why Razorkin is going up in price. And last week it was paired with Nova Hellkite. The two of them won a tournament together as a mono-red deck in Standard, unseating Vivi Cauldron as the perceived meta. I'm very excited about the card at the number 2 slot. It is Equinox from Legends. This card is an aura that you use to enchant your lands for 1 white mana, and you can tap the land enchanted with Equinox to counter a spell that destroys 1 or more of your lands, and you can play it as an instant. This card is an insane combo with Toph the First Metalbender. Since Toph turns all of your non-token artifacts into lands, and she also has the ability to animate your lands into creatures, Equinox becomes an incredibly versatile counterspell. Since your non-token artifacts are lands, if someone tries to board wipe all of the artifacts, you're able to counter it just by tapping one of your lands. Or if they try to destroy all creatures, and any of your lands are also creatures, again you can counter it. Keep in mind that the card uses the keyword destroy, so if your lands would be exiled, or if their toughness would be reduced to 0 or less, it can't target those spells. But there are tons of cards that it will protect your lands from, and for just 1 white mana, this card is a no-brainer to include, especially because activating it costs nothing other than tapping one of your lands. I do have a few copies of this card, so as a bonus for you guys, anyone that pre-orders 2 or more avatar packs from our Discord will get one for free. I've also introduced 4 tiers of cards that folks can get for free depending on how many packs they buy. I can take whatever payment works best for you, and I'll ship the cards at the end of November when we rip and ship our avatar box. If you found this update helpful, you'll probably find future ones helpful as well, so please consider subscribing, and any engagement with the post like a like or a comment really helps us grow. And coming up at our number 1 slot, it's Fairy Macabre. Fairy Macabre is a 2/2 flyer for 3 mana, and it has the ability discard Fairy Macabre, exile up to 2 cards from graveyards. One of the craziest parts about this card is that it's being played in decks that don't even generate black mana. It's really popular in Pauper and Legacy right now, and it's a sideboard card to specifically target graveyard hate because you can discard it and it costs no mana to exile the cards from graveyards. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, check out our TCG Player Store, and follow our Whatnot account for giveaways in the near future.